Yo, what's going on? This is a build that I'll be using for today's video, and it's just gonna be a comp. So there's not really much to talk about. So I'm just gonna talk about the new update, the TLC, dinos to look out for, nerfs, buffs, stuff like that, combat changes, and all of that fun stuff. So yeah. Now to start off about the slot size, so they actually increased it to 12 from 10, which I think is really good. It didn't really make sense that you could only fit 2 Suchos in a group, but you could only fit 2 Rexes, whereas 2 Rexes are way stronger than 2 Suchos. So now you can have 3 Suchos, which I think is very good. And also it just opens up a lot more combos that you can run, and yeah, it's really nice. Another thing is, now you can heal through combat timer. So now they changed it, you can heal during combat timer, but the problem is it's reduced healing. It's still good. Hopefully it helps out the solo players that usually get cornered and can't really go anywhere, while people are just switching out on them and just getting all their health back. So yeah, it's really nice, unless obviously you're bleeding. If you're bleeding, the heal doesn't go through, just like before. So I really want to talk about how they changed the apexes. They made them have a lot less health, to make the other dinos be able to compete with them. They honestly nerfed a lot of dinos' health and weight. Like, majority of the roster got nerfed in a way. They just have less health, or their combat weight got put down. For example, the Aloe went from 4k to 3.5k now. I think they want to downsize it for its TLC, which is really cool. And honestly, I think it's better when stuff is around the same combat weight. It makes them a lot closer. But the difference is going to be their abilities and their playstyle and what their role is going to be. So yeah, rather than it just being about what is stronger, now because they're going to be very similar in strength and size, it's going to make you rely more on the dino's abilities and what their role is, rather than just playing the dino because it's strong, which I think is pretty good. Yeah. Another thing is the Toxin. So before, when you used to sit down, it wouldn't really do anything. So if you ran, it would increase it, and if you stopped walking, it would do a little increase. But if you went to sleep, it didn't change anything. They've actually changed it now to where if you sleep and rest and stuff like that, it makes it go down faster, which is really nice as well. They've also nerfed the bleed in this update, just by increasing a lot of the dinosaurs' bleed heal and venom heal and all of that stuff. They've just increased all of that on most dinos, and they've also nerfed some of the bleed on the conch and maybe a few other bleeders. So yeah, but at the same time, they've also nerfed the resilience skills that help you heal from bleed. The devs thought that people were forced to use resilient skills, which I think is good. If something is that good, and it's just the type of risk you take. It's what do you want to be good at? Do you want to be good at fighting bleeding dinos, or do you maybe want to run second wind to increase your survivability with all the stamina you get from it, which I thought was pretty good. But either way, I mean, I don't mind this change, as I'm not a huge bleeder myself. Honestly, it works better for me because I like to use second wind on the Pycno, just for that insane stamina, and it has a really good trot paired up with the O2 voice call that you get. So yeah, since I'm already talking about the Pycno, honestly, this is a dino that you should be looking out for, as all the other dinos got their either health changed, weight changed, or just things, some of them got debuffed whilst healing. For example, the conch's health, HP recovery got nerfed by a little bit. but the Pycno has got 0 changes, so it's still 3.5k weight. Its stamina, all of that stayed the same, and it didn't lose any health. So, you know, a lot of the stuff that was, you know, quite a bit stronger than the Pycno, for example the Aloe and the Dasp, are now a lot weaker because they lost not only that, well, for example the Dasp lost damage and weight, or maybe not weight, health and damage it lost. On its bite it lost some damage, and it lost like 100 health, or 75 health, sorry. And then the Aloe lost 500 weight, so it just makes the Pycno so much better. It's not because the Pycno got buffed in any way, it's just because everything around it got nerfed. So yeah, Pycno's really good, definitely watch out for it. Yeah. Now they've also increased the Apex's stamina recovery and how long they're able to run for, which is pretty good, as it was honestly a pain travelling around as an Apex, or especially if you just died by a mega pack, you know, and you're looking for a fight and you spent all that time running somewhere just for you to instantly die. You know, now it's a little bit shorter, a little bit more efficient, and it's nice. Also, they've increased the turn radius of a lot of Apexes, which is really good. The Apexes really needed that, and it's yeah, it's amazing. For example, the Rex got its running, walking and trot turning speed increased by approximately 10%, and so did the Titan and a few other stuff, which is really good. Whereas I didn't really feel like the Titan needed it, but it's fair enough. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. So yeah. Another thing is Feast. So Feast is now got a buff. It used to do a 50% damage reduction when you used heavy bite. Now it's only 35. So I might do a Feast build on the Titan video coming up. I'm definitely gonna do a Spino one. I'm working on that. I've been playing it. It's really fun. Just figuring out the right builds for it and stuff like that. So pretty much they've just made the Apexes, so the Apexes have just lost a lot of health. So for example, the bars went from like 1.45 to 975 HP, so that's a lot of HP lost, but it got way more running stamina, or not way more, but it went from 0.4 to 0.6 recovery. And then they also made the drain from running from 2.2 to just 2. So yeah, so now Apexes can run fast, not faster, but they can run longer, have a better turn radius, and can regen their stamina faster. But they're just weaker, which is okay. Apexes were tanky. They still do good damage, obviously, but they're just not as tanky as they used to be, which could be a good change, could be a bad change, but honestly I think it's good. I would definitely take the turning. Having better turning is way better than having way more HP, because the HP doesn't matter if you can't do anything about it. Like the Rex would get tail ridden all the time because it had such a bad turn radius. It couldn't punish people. Even if you seen them coming from a mile away, you couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, also they have increased tail attack damage now. So if anyone's been playing the game for a long time, you'll know that tail attack used to be the meta. You used to be able to tail kite people to death. Like someone would bite your tail and you would smack them in the face with your tail, and you could literally win that way. You could kill someone before they kill you pretty easily. And that used to be the tail meta, but now it's not as strong as it used to be. So they've increased the damage from 5 to 15, which is good. The tail attack used to be really useless and it just did nothing. Now it gives people a reason to run it, which I think is good, especially for people that use land or use a tail attack in the water. Now it doesn't only do knockback, it actually does damage, which is good. So yeah, it makes people, you can't just, you can still tail raid people, but you're going to take a lot more damage, and it kind of forces you to bait out that tail attack and be more of a hit and run style, rather than just, okay, I'm just going to sit on the guy 24/7 until he's dead, unless he's got stomp. So yeah. Also have increased the armor of all the apexes from 1.0 is 1 to 1.1, which is, that's just 10% more armor, which so even though they did lose health, they did get some armor back, so it's not that bad. They're not, you know, they're not squishy. They can definitely still tank a lot of hits, just a little bit less than before, but in turn they have better stamina, both running and recovery, and way better turning. So I think that's a good trade, and yeah, I like the changes on that. I might play a few more apexes, especially that every single apex has got its TLC. Another thing they added is the distant calls on quite a few things, the Pycno, the Sucho, the Amaga. That's pretty much all the ones I can think of. I know there's a few other ones, but yeah, those are pretty cool. You know, they kind of just add to the environment, you know, especially for newer players. Just makes it more scary, I guess, to run around, and you know, if you're new, you hear that while you're questing. Yeah, it's just really cool, but it doesn't, you know, it's cool, but it doesn't like change anything really for the game. But yeah, either way, it is nice. Yes, in PvP it's a lot easier to find your friend now, as you'll be able to hear them call out across the map, which is nice. And the plan to do distant calls on every dino, they're just going from top to bottom. So yeah, another thing is the Patchy got buffed. It only got buffed, it got no nerfs. It got its HP buffed by 50, which is, I'm not a huge Patchy player, but for the Patchy players, that's definitely nice. Another thing is the Kilo got, that's another one that got buffed, the Kilo. Its weight got buffed by 100, so it went from 2.1 to 2.2. It used to be the same weight as the conch, which makes me think they don't want the Kilos getting clamped by Hatzes. So I'm pretty sure you need something needs to be within the 1000 range for you to clamp it as a Hatze. And now that this thing's 2.2k, you can no longer clamp the Kilo, I don't think. I've not tried it, but I'm pretty sure anything over 2.1 you cannot clamp. But yeah. Now they did nerf the fun barrage on the Iggy. It went from 25% damage to 15. So yeah, that's that. I mean, it did do a lot of damage on us. You used to be able to, like, if you played it perfect, you could possibly face tank a Tyrannotitan if you used the block. They also nerfed the block on the Iggy from 90% damage reduction to 50. So it lost 40% on that. Also the Hatze got nerfed. So the clamp now takes a lot of stamina to, not a lot, but it takes like 8 or 10 stamina to use. So you're gonna have to be a lot more accurate with, you know, Hatze. Not only that, they changed the way Peg Barrage works, so it doesn't work how it used to work. It now works like the Iggy's Fun Barrage. So it's just like a couple hits, but I don't think it increases in damage anymore each time you hit them. So yeah. Another thing is they have reduced its health recovery, its stamina recovery. So yeah, that's the thing. Which I don't think it's that bad. It just makes it that you have to be a lot more accurate with the Hatze, which I think is good, because at any point it's got the chance to kill, you know, if you're a Conquer player. This goes more for Conquer players now, especially the Kilo is heavier. At any point you could just be dead from a guy just, you know, coming out of the sky and you don't even see him. So I think they just want Hatze players to be a lot more accurate with the Hatze. They've also increased the timer on the roll from like 5 seconds to 12. So yeah, so there's a lot of nerfs to the Hatze, but I still think it's gonna be fine. just you can't pick up a kilos anymore, which kind of, it sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah. Another dino that you could be looking out for that is probably really good now is the Kentro. Obviously it got its health recovery nerfed by a little bit, but then just like before, everything else around it got nerfed, whereas only health recovery got nerfed on the Kentro, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. It's definitely a lot better than getting your weight nerfed or damage or health. So yeah, for example, the Cerato lost 100 health and solid frame got nerfed, but honestly I was never a big fan of solid frame. I would always use robust jaws. I would also use carrying feeder if I was in a group. So yeah, no, I think robust jaws is definitely going to be the way to go. So I kind of like that though, because it rewards the more accurate player to use robust jaws. So yeah, but I did really like solid frame, as you could potentially have just a Cerato beat a tank and take attention off of people. But now it lost some of that. It went from like 100% to 50% health, I think, from buff. So yeah. Now the Sucho got a lot of its so its damage got nerfed. On the Riptide it went from 30 to 20, which Riptide actually did do a lot of damage, to be honest. Like, you used to absolutely decimate small dinos if you could hit one barrage on them, just all your hits. You'd pretty much be dead, if not dead. So yeah, but that does open up. Also the bite got nerfed and backhand got nerfed, and also backhand just has got now a longer cooldown, which now just opens up more opportunity for a different bite. That is the hooked snap bite, because the damage never got changed on it, whereas the backhand and the bite lost damage. The backhand lost like 10 damage, the bite lost like 8, whereas hook snap didn't change, besides it's got like a 1 second longer cooldown on it, which is fine if you just use that in Riptide. So yeah. Now those are a bunch of other changes, like the Amalga got nerfed and stuff like that. Those don't really interest me as much, because I'm just not interested in playing that dino. So yeah. But yeah, the patch notes did come out, so you could also check them out in the Path of Titans Discord. But yeah. Also, the Spino TLC, I think it's really good. I really like it. It's different from the other ones. It's got a bunch of really cool abilities, and they honestly let the Spino be more of a land Spino. It's very much a hybrid. It doesn't, I felt like the duck really was the best in the water. Not so good on land, because there was dinos that could do it better, like the Tyrannotine in a way. Obviously it's not an aquatic, but I felt like the Tyrannotine was just a better version of the land duck, whereas the land Spino is actually really good because of its insane stamina recovery and how tanky it is with all the buffs.